Welcome back to Daniel Smith's Color Showdown. This is episode 7, and in this episode we're going to be looking at Cerulean Blue with Cerulean Blue Chromium. This comparison was suggested by Palmyra and also Gekonia, so thank you so much to both of you for suggesting this comparison. Cerulean Blue and Cerulean Blue Chromium is listed next to each other in the Daniel Smith's color chart, but there is an actual price difference. Cerulean Blue is Series 3, whereas Cerulean Blue Chromium is Series 2. So it will be really interesting to see if the price difference of Cerulean Blue being more expensive is worth the money when it comes to what happens on the watercolor paper. So let's take a closer look at these two colors individually, and then we'll come back and compare the two together. First up is Cerulean Blue. It is made out of PB35 cobalt tin oxide. Daniel Smith's website says, a superb mixing color. Think of Cerulean Blue as a cleaner, brighter and slightly warmer alternative to the Cerulean Blue Chromium we've always sold. A bit less green, it's a truer blue that will be a versatile component of any palette. It is a Series 3 color. It's classified as excellent in light fastness, semi-transparent, non-staining and granulating. Next up is Cerulean Blue Chromium. It is made out of PB36 cobalt chromium oxide. Daniel Smith's website says, beautiful on its own and especially so when mixed with a transparent pigment. This sky blue inorganic pigment is granular and medium light in value. Highly permanent and extremely low staining, Cerulean Blue creates exciting granulation and settling washes. A drop of Cerulean Blue into a damp wash such as burnt sienna creates a halo effect around the more dense cerulean. This is especially effective when quinacridone gold or quinacridone burnt orange are used in the moist underpainting. The technique is great for rendering lichens and Spanish moss. Add buff titanium, undersea green and a touch of lunar black, each a Daniel Smith exclusive, and the creative fun truly begins. For a misty landscape or that dusky quality on eggplants, grapes and plums, think Cerulean as a mixer. It is a Series 2 color, classified as excellent in light fastness, semi-transparent, low staining and granulating. Welcome back. The paints have dried. This side is Cerulean Blue and this side is the Cerulean Blue Chromium. I can see immediately there is a big difference between these two colors in that the Cerulean Blue Chromium is the much more stronger, intense color. I would also say that it looks like it's going to be a warmer color than Cerulean Blue, but let's take a look at each of the tests we did in close-up and see how the two colors compare with each other. As for the washes, this side is the Cerulean Blue and this side is Cerulean Blue Chromium. They both create very nice washes, although I did find that the Cerulean Blue Chromium was a little bit easier to do the washes than the Cerulean. You can see here I couldn't get a nice even mass tone like you can with the Cerulean Blue Chromium. They are both very granulating colors and they granulate lovely even on hot press paper, especially the Cerulean Blue Chromium. You can see the granulation on a hot press paper as well. They are both very easy color to create gradated washes with, and you don't tend to get much cauliflowering problem happening with either of these two colors. Let's have a look at opacity, lifting and glazing, and up here is the Cerulean Blue and down here is the Cerulean Blue Chromium. You can definitely see the difference between these two colors when you paint a big mass tone like this. The Cerulean Blue Chromium is definitely more intense in color, and I would say slightly more green than the Cerulean Blue is. In terms of opacity, they are both classified as semi-transparent, and I would agree with that. These two colors are both very easy to lift, as you can see here and here. However, I think the Cerulean Blue Chromium, I can definitely see few traces of the blue left in there still, whereas the Cerulean Blue lifted all the way back to the white color. In terms of glazing, for heavily granulating colors, which tend to be hard to glaze with, for 1 or 2 layers, you're not going to have any problem with them. And in fact, Cerulean Blue glazes very nicely indeed. Now, thankfully, because these two are granulating colors, it did react to gauze very, very nicely indeed. And here again, you can see that the Cerulean Blue is definitely leaning more towards the turquoisey side of the blue compared to the Cerulean Blue. In terms of salt, it didn't really do much. Where the salt had been for the Cerulean Blue Chromium, you get darker patches, but you don't get the typical feathering out, lightening of color kind of effect from salt. And really, Cerulean Blue did absolutely nothing at all with the salt. And in terms of water blooms, I don't really know where the water blooms went with the Cerulean Blue. And the Cerulean Blue Chromium did react some more compared to the Cerulean with the water, but it's not the most prettiest pattern ever. Let's have a look at how these two colors mix with other colors. And for reference, these are the 12 colors I mixed the two colors with. And so this is how these colors look like when you mix it with Cerulean Blue. And this is how these 12 colors look like when you mix it with Cerulean Blue Chromium. I have to say, Cerulean Blue is such a pale color that it's hard to mix with other colors, and they all end up looking like this slightly different varying shades of very pale blue. You do get a couple of really nice colors, like when you mix it with the Ultramarine Violet and Viridian Hue and some of the blues, but it really struggles over the yellows and the oranges. However, with the Cerulean Blue Chromium, because it is a much more intense, stronger color, you do get much brighter, more vibrant mixes that are higher in intensity. Even with the yellow, it creates this really interesting, almost somewhere between sap green and leaf green, but granulating color. And you get these two-tone color of red and almost like a dark violet blue with the permanent red. And you get lovely, gorgeous, intense blues and greens and turquoises with the Cerulean Blue Chromium. For both of these colors, the complement is going to be somewhere between the yellow orange and the orange, and so you get the most amount of neutralization around here on both colors. However, because they are both granulating, you get a two-tone effect, so you see the orange and the blue rather than a neutralized even tone. I really like how the Cerulean Blue Chromium looks mixed with the Phthalo Turquoise, the Viridian Hue and the Ultramarine Violet. That's really nice. In conclusion, Cerulean Blue is definitely the lighter one of the two, and Cerulean Blue Chromium is definitely the more intense color of the two. I have to also say that when I was painting these two colors, the Cerulean Blue Chromium was much easier to re-wet than the Cerulean Blue was. Cerulean Blue, I struggled a little bit in re-wetting. Not much, but there was definitely a difference between the two. For me, personally, I like the Cerulean Blue Chromium better than the Cerulean, just because you can get a much stronger color mixes than you can with the Cerulean Blue. Now, of course, if you do use a lot of paler mixes, then I advise you to go with the Cerulean Blue, because you're going to have an easier time mixing it to the paleness that you like to work with. But for me, liking the more bright intense color out of these two colors, I definitely prefer the Cerulean Blue Chromium. I really love these colors that you can get with it. They are both very easy colors to work with. In terms of washes, they wash like a dream. But don't bother using salt or water, but definitely try doing the gauze because you get some fantastic results with these two colors. So which color would you go for? Would you go for the Cerulean Blue or the Cerulean Blue Chromium? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you do use either of these colors and you love it, then please let us know also why you love using these colors. I hope this video was interesting and useful to you. If it was, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!